Okay, hi, I'm back, and I got my ink pen, I got my pad with me, and guess what? I sometimes run from certain things because I don't want to be in a certain category. So now, as far as like this subject is a talk, okay? I am a Bible studier. I'm feeling still young, okay? So I'm on here to discuss um, on pursuing righteousness. Okay, I have been on here reading an article, which of course is going to be kind of hard. I wish I can try to split my screen and then just come down to half of it and then split my screen so I can have one side talking about the website that I was visiting, speaking about righteousness, versus me and what I wanted to present. Now, a lot of people think that righteousness means perfectness, and this is what I have been looking at, and I just wanted to say, we all look up to someone. If we don't look up to someone, then maybe we're trying to find someone to look up to. But the first thing when I started studying and everything, I said, well, I'm tired of people talking about they're not perfect. Okay. So then I turned around and I got into a lot of different situations that caused me to recognize more of my imperfectness. And so now I see why people kept saying it, because people are so harsh to those who are coming to present good things to them, and it's kind of hard to take that in, and we're being judged not only by you but by the one who made us, that has us here. Okay, so now I thought about it, and then I think I had lost one of my words because I was out looking for a pen to write something down. So what I did put, on pursuing righteousness, we have to remember that first of all, you're not perfect. um, but that doesn't mean you don't have to strive to be perfect. It's the difference in being perfect and then continuing to striving to be perfect. Okay. So also number two, you are not God. You did not create people, or you did not create the earth. Okay. So it may be a lot of things that you do not know. So it's a lot of things that we all can learn, and helping us in this lifetime to help others, because of course we want to help others. Okay. Now, like I said, I've been trying to avoid things like this because sometimes I don't know what to say. So you'll see many of my videos and I'm sitting on there like, okay. So now I took the time to write some of these things down. On pursuing righteousness, you're not perfect. um, you are not God. You're not the creator. You might be waiting to hear from God. You might have some type of fear of maybe what others may think of you, or you may be able to describe that fear that you may have and why. Okay. And then sometimes people are going through a mourning period. um, that means they're sad, they're going through some things that's causing them to seem to be more laid back, but they may be a little more laid back, maybe hiding their feelings, maybe trying to pursue other people to make them happy, but at the same time, they're going through a battle of their own. So they're kind of putting that on the side to bring others in, to help them in any kind of way that they can, uh, mentally, uh, physically, and spiritually. And why I say physically is because when you're spiritually attacked, somehow it's saying maybe that it can go into your body and make you feel more healthier, maybe even more young. But it may be a lot of things to go with that, I think, um, to help your body feel better, to make you feel more young or more vibrant, because no one wants to feel weak. No one wants to feel like they're just, um, no one wants them anymore, or, what's old. Okay, old. So, I mean, we know we all have to grow older and get older, and we have to learn how to accept that. And being able to accept that means we're growing into a maturity level where we're not, as the little kids now, acting upon how adults think. Because I remember being a kid and how I thought as a kid. Now I can compare it, but that would have to be a whole nother subject. I want to say that now. Because I want to sit down and maybe write those things down if I can, and say, excuse me, to compare some of those things, how I am now, how I think. So, um, also on pursuing righteousness, with the mourning period, I want to go more into that because um, if you've been in pain or you've been having restlessness or anything like that, then you pretty much may have a more difficult time pursuing and doing things. Um, so let's see. Um, I got a definition that I wrote down on here. But before I go there, I want to talk about many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. Okay, now that was something I think I read on today, and it said Proverbs 19 chapter and the 21st verse. So I actually went on there and got this, and then I said I wanted to look it up, so I looked it up, and then this is what it said. Many are the plans in a person's heart, okay? In a person's heart, but it is the Lord, um, whose purpose that prevails, okay? Now, when I got this scripture, it said, "You are where you are meant to be for a reason." So wherever you are in life, it must be for a reason. That's what they were saying. So you don't have to apply that to you. Take your time. Take your time and hope in the Lord. This right here, um, believing in Him also can help a lot of people. A lot of people don't believe in Him because of the things they experienced, the things that they saw, the things that's happening right now. And um, do you know what it feels like to have someone not believe in you, or to believe you what you say when you exactly telling the truth? If you ever done that, you ever got in trouble, then you said, "Oh, no one's listening to me," and then I don't want to be in trouble for the wrong thing. You see what I'm saying? So you want people to believe you. Just think about how we come into the world. We have to trust our parents, our guardians, or whoever with us, and then what they can do to us if they throw that off balance. It can make us have a difficult life. I'm not on here to blast people off. I don't want to do that. What I'm just saying is that can throw you off in your life, and you'll have to find a growth pattern to help you grow from that, to heal. When you go through hard things, you have to learn how to heal, and you have to believe in somebody or something or someone, shall I say. When I say something, there are methods. Something would be a method of which works for you in your life. Like one method might work for me or someone else, and another method might work for you. It doesn't mean that your method is wrong because it didn't work for me or for another person, or theirs didn't work for you or another person. It just means that it was just meant for you, the method that you have. So Also, and then we want to go into look at Proverbs, the 13th chapter and the 12th verse. Hope deferred makes the heart sick or sad. And I saw them say sad. I'm so used to hearing them say sick. So I said, let me go and look up sick. Okay. So now I'm going to take you over here to what I wrote down for the definition of sick. Sick means affected by physical or mental illness. And when I first read that, I had to stop. And I said, I know that I don't have a mental illness. So I will fight that until the end of the day, you know. So I'm going to start back over here and read this again. It's sick means affected by physical or mental illness. That means the brain, something up here. Okay, you need this, and I tell a lot of people, brain is a terrible thing to waste or something like that. Oh, I got to put on my thinking cap. I like putting on my thinking cap. I really believe I'm putting on a thinking cap without putting on my thinking cap, okay? So, now the synonyms of this word sick is ill, unwell, poorly, ailing, indisposed, not oneself, or off. And I remember the people used to say that people were off. Now I know they would get offended, especially if they're not off. Okay, and don't get me into looking up off. Okay, because I will look up off, but I have to probably come in and bring it to you somewhere else. But now, the antonyms of sick would be well or healthy. And everybody wants to be well and healthy. I'm going to tell you, being well and healthy makes you want to go out and do things like never before. Especially if you ever been sick or not well or not healthy. You like, okay, now past this stage, it was a hard stage, or maybe it wasn't. I'm thinking it was. Now I can go off and do all of these other things now. And you start maybe in desiring to do other things. Now, relating to those who are ill of organization, system, or society, suffering from serious problems, and some especially of financial nature. Now I put a star right here for this next thing. It says pinning or pining or longing for someone or something. That can cause you to make you feel sick because you're longing for someone or something. And those feelings continue to be there if you can't find a way to put those into place into your life. So, also feeling nauseous and wanting to vomit. And believe it or not, I looked up the word vomit. You can go wherever you want with this. When I looked up vomit, it says forcefully expelling the stomach's contents out of the mouth. So whatever is up in here coming out of the mouth forcefully. You know, anything forcefully, sometimes it hurts. Okay, I vomited. It actually hurt. I had to sit and get what they call a barf bag. But I got a baggie, like, but my barf bag was plastic. It wasn't paper. Or I might have, I don't know. But usually it's a paper bag or a garbage can. And I'm like, just for this stuff, and then it keep coming and it hurts. But I guess I don't know if it's kind of cleaning you out. I would have to actually do more research. So I had to look up vomit. I was like, you know what? I'm going to look up vomit, and there it is. Okay. So when you're feeling nauseous and wanting to vomit, queasy, bilious, or nauseous, okay? Now, another thing for sick that they have is disappointed, depressed, dejected, despondent, downcast, unhappy, undispleased. And you're welcome to look up any of those words to help you, to pretty much more understand. Because we think we have these definitions down pat. And I was like, me in school, I had a hard time with it. But we used to have to write it like 5 times or more. So, and I like that the teachers did that. So when I got older or became an adult, I wanted to study the dictionary or definitions to help me in my life. But for some reason, words can't stick with me a lot or all the time. So I go and I look it up again when I need it. And the dictionary is something good. So the dictionary can stay around for a long time and never be not put to use. So it can be put to use at any time. So we want to remember that the being sick is said disappointed. You could be depressed, which is a very sad thing. And if I talk about depression, because I've been into a lot of depression, and once you go into depression, depending on the seriousness of your depression, it is serious. It can cause you health problems, make you feel weak. It can make you feel just awful. You not want to be around people. I do that anyway, but I don't mean no harm. But I do that, to keep myself out of trouble, or because sometimes people might get offended about me, or I get about them, and that meaning that if I'm disappointed or if I'm depressed or feeling some displeasure, then anybody in the world will react in different ways. And believe me, I'll take a good way to react in matters as far as I'm concerned. Because some people get mad because it seems like others are taking their anger out on them because they have been going through something and it feels like it's unfair. But sometimes it might not be unfair. We might have to learn how to deal with something or go through something so that we could become stronger. So downcast, you could be unhappy or displeased, intensely annoyed with or bored by someone or something as a result of having too much of them. So sometimes we have to take a break, like on my notes. I used to say I talk about how people need space sometimes. I'm not saying go and let them just or for you to go and have so much space and everybody's worried, and I don't try to worry people, and I don't think you should want to worry them either, because people do care. People do actually care. And then also, let's see. Okay. Now another thing that can make you sick, and I hate to say this, but I'm not gonna hate to say this, but having something unpleasant, such as a death, an illness, or misfortune, as a subject of dealing with it, and it's in an offensive way. So sometimes these things happen and people become depressed or sad, and that causes them to go through a mourning state. And when you're going through a mourning state of sadness, depression, or something, you had a misfortune, you lost something, or you've been ill for a long time, and then you needed someone to be there for you. You needed someone to listen to you. You needed someone to attend to you. They maybe had to wash your clothes, clean your house for you, talk to you, rub your back, help you wash, and types of things like that. It's kind of difficult for someone who hasn't had to do that before. And now all of a sudden they need your help. And so, and just, of course, having a death in your family or as someone knowing them, it's a painful thing to deal with. I don't care if they're going to heaven or wherever they're going. You're going to have a difficult time not having them sitting there by your side anymore. Okay? You're used to it. And then you have to go on and live, and then I know people want to say the right thing, but say, well, now they're in heaven. You don't have to worry anymore. But my thing is that it's still a hard thing to deal with. Okay, so let's just keep that in order and just think about that. It's unpleasant to deal with something like that, and it's also difficult to deal with illness, which causes pain through your body, and that could be one thing that can cause it if you don't know how to strive with having that happen. Okay, I don't want to get into whatever I had to deal with in there. Okay, all right. So now that is a misfortune, or that is losing something that you had. That's like a misfortune, losing something, and it's not easy to deal with. So you go through a mourning state, and you need someone to be there for you. But what happens if you don't have someone there for you in your corner? What do you do? Okay, now what I will tell you is you can all look up. They have prayer lines. You want to go ahead and get prayer. I actually have a prayer line in number in place now. I probably let's see. When you go on these gospel channels, they give you a number that you can call, and I should have had that prayer line number available, but I don't actually have the prayer line. But you can look it up. How serious are you have been wanting to have prayer? Then do yourself this project. Go on Google. Okay. Now I want the number in the phone, but I definitely don't want to be cut off. Okay. Also with sickness, I want you to remember this. A lot of people are not perfect. It just seems that they're perfect, and then when they, want to present it to you, so as to have others to desire something good. Okay, no one wants to scare you off and say, "Hey, this or that." We want you to do better. We want you to strive for good things in this world. So I had to put that on there about presenting perfectness and pursuing righteousness. I might have to come back on here and talk about a part 2 of this, okay? And I've been really, believe it or not, trying to pursue that perfectness. And some things I haven't even gotten done, like projects and things like that, because of the fact that I wanted to have perfectness. I just had to have it just exactly right, and it didn't turn out to be that way. So just remember this. I don't have the scriptures verse for this, but it said, "Let patience have her perfect work, and be not easily angered or offended." Those things right there will help you get through your day. Those things will help you get through in your lifetime, to not get so easily angered or offended by what someone says to you or by you. Sometimes you have to take a walk and step on the other side, or get you a breath of fresh air. Okay, so be doing that. Sometimes I say that people will come in and examine it to see if you are the truth, or to see the truth, and the truth should set you free, is what's told. So sometimes, and then you also have to learn how to examine yourself. So I had to learn how to examine myself, which so that I can help others. So that I'm gonna I have to examine myself also. And if you are a Bible reader, you may look it up and find out that the Bible tells you to examine yourselves. Okay. So, if you're interested in finding more righteousness um, look up the word righteousness. You might can find it more in a Bible dictionary if you want to look it up. Okay. All right. So you all have a good day.